What's going on, everyone? We know something is. It's your girl, Big Keish, and you are tuned into Nonidle. In this episode, we will be highlighting the beauty, value, and authenticity of Black love. The couples in this episode will be giving us a unique insight into their precious union. We will be learning how well they know each other, how they have overcome obstacles and persevered, and most importantly, how they love and support each other. The couples in this episode range in age, profession, talent, and most importantly, purpose. I guarantee after watching this episode, you will learn to love just a little bit stronger. Thank you for tuning in, and remember, pray before you hustle.
The biggest sacrifice we had to make was really deciding, the values that we wanted to raise our family with, and what type of upbringing we wanted our future children to have. We both uprooted ourselves from, comfortable lifestyle in the city, to careers, really decided to just sacrifice for one another so we can reach some of those ultimate goals. That took us splitting apart. We had been living together for almost 7.5 years.
Yeah.
And then split apart, living situation for a year to be able to save collectively and purchase a home.
Waiting later in life to sort of have kids because we wanted to make sure we were solid in our careers, in our relationship. We got to travel, do everything first, as opposed to trying to sort of do it later on, if that makes sense.
I agree with that. I love kids. I want to have a lot of kids, but I know I want to bring them into a super happy environment. We don't have to worry about that much. Get the next generation more than we had, and make sure everything was right. You know that?
Me going to school and Akino financially supporting me the entire way. Then you stepped up and you did that, and now we're able to reap the benefits of it. So it was a necessary sacrifice.
So for me, I think the biggest sacrifice was 3 years into our relationship. She just decides to move to California to be a model. We were on and off, but I thought we were pretty serious at the time. She's like, yeah, I want to go to California and be a model. And I'm like, gee, really? Right now? I told her no, but she still went. We made it work. In 6 months, she was gone. So I think it was a big sacrifice. I thought it was a crossroads for us. Either we'd be done then, or we just held it together. We did. We got married a year later after that.
Yeah.
A year and a half after that. So.
We disagree a lot. We do disagree a lot. We are looking into purchasing a home, and we've been doing so much research about it. What kind of home? Do we want an investment property? What kind of investment property? And you know how I have my idea of what I want, and you have your idea. So just yesterday, we were comparing notes, and we butt heads a little bit.
Mind you, it took a while
to get me to this point.
Be on this page.
It takes a lot of convincing. If you bring an opportunity to me, I need to know back to front. I need to know everything, the whole blueprint. But we did butt heads a little bit, just the logistics of everything, area, location, type of home that we wanted. But I think at the end, we were able to come to a compromise, which I feel it's really good about us, because even though we have disagreements, we don't see eye to eye all the time, we are able to some way come to a compromise to make both of us happy. And I'm okay with that, because I get my way, and then you can be happy at the same time.
So it was when you wanted to move to Brooklyn, I have another apartment in Brooklyn. And I'm like, no, it doesn't make any sense. I definitely didn't agree with it, but I also wasn't trying to hold you back from doing what you wanted to do, because that's one thing. I say, don't ever not do something that you want to do because of me. But I knew what I wanted as well. So I was like, okay, if that's what you want to do, go ahead and do it, but just know I'm not going to be here. Sorry, but we were able to come to an understanding and just make it make sense. What would be the best option? instead of like me just giving him an ultimatum, it was more so like, let's weigh the pros and cons. It also helped me understand why you want to do that, because I didn't get it at first.
Ultimately, like, we disagree a lot, but we respect each other's rationale. Like, we always ask the why. We always ask each other, like, pretty much state your case. So it's like, if we have disagreements and we fight and we yell about it, fine. But like, ultimately, we always come back to each other because we respect each other's opinions.
Have I gone against your advice before? I gotta say yes, because I mean, we don't always agree on everything. It's been a lot of times, and try to pick one in particular. I'll say bringing a dog home, because I didn't talk to you about it. I just showed up at the house with the dog. So that kind of was going against your advice, because I didn't give you opportunity to have an input in. Did it backfire? Yeah, at the beginning. But then once I saw you start buying, the dog leash and a collar and a dog bone, I knew things were gonna be all right.
Well, according to her, I always go against her advice.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that at all. I think that you just use a lot of discernment. You don't you allow everyone's input, but ultimately you sit with it, you take everyone's advice, and then you leave. So I wouldn't say that you don't.
You think I take your advice from her?
There's times, yeah, but ultimately, like, I trust, like, I trust your judgment, like, so I wouldn't say that just because it's me that you have to listen to what I say.
I take your advice. I listen.
You do.
I listen a lot.
You do.
You don't give me credit for it.
No, that's true. I need to give you more credit.
Have I ever gone against my partner's advice? I don't think so. I think because those that are in my life, I trust them wholeheartedly with my life. So if he tells me, like, maybe we should think about it, it's not an absolute no. I think it's more so a conversation, and like, I'll tell him my ideas open and honest. And I don't think I've ever gone against anything he may have said, because he doesn't tell me no. He'll just say, let's think about it, let's work it out, let's figure out what's the best sort of plan in action. I would absolutely have to say yes. Just because, especially with everything going on now, it's so hard. And before he even opens his mouth for you to understand how amazing he actually is, he's a dark-skinned black man that is bigger and stronger than and intimidating looking, even though he's a teddy bear, to a person who's insecure. And that's what I fear most, is that without even opening his mouth, that he'll be automatically stereotyped and looked at a certain way.
Let's see, as far as fearing for your safety, I did for a long time. And so I don't even know if you remember this. We talked about this a little while ago. We were on our way to get something to eat, and we were stopped on our way into the mall. And I'd never seen you interact with police before. And after everything was done, I was amazed at how calm you were. And I remember mentioning to you, you were so calm. And you said to me, and this rocked me, you said, you know how many times I've been pulled over this month? It like stopped my heart. So I went from not really thinking about a lot to suddenly being really, really like, oh my gosh, she's going out. I think rationalizing it is the idea that I can't control, nor can you control everything that we come in contact with, but you can control how you deal with it. And seeing your interaction with that officer that day, and it wasn't, a very confrontational, but seeing that gave me a lot of peace. Knowing how you approach things and how, you have a very calming demeanor, except when you're on the track and you're young. But encouragement, right? Encouragement. But so I do worry, and I want you to know that. But it's not a paralyzing fear, and I think seeing that interaction, seeing you help calm those waters for me a lot.
I think that we've been on a spiritual journey. We hold the Bible true to our relationship. It's the foundation of our relationship. So yes, I think living in America is always that fear of being Black, but I don't let it shake us. So.
I know at the end of the day, it's God's will. Like, God's will is going to be done. And I have the confidence that you'll know how to protect yourself. And, you know, I hate to say this, but like, conduct yourself. And what I would tell another Black woman is just don't allow yourself to like sit in it and worry yourself, because you're only gonna make yourself sick. But if anything, like, just pray and like allow God to do what God does.
Sometimes, yes, right? And that mostly in, I'll say, in white spaces, right? I'm very mindful of the idea that, you know, when you're othered, when you're a person who, you know, people see you and they're not used to seeing people who look like you in that particular space, I have to be mindful of, you know, what I say and how I say it. Because at the end of the day, we're very much connected, right? I'm known as Coach's wife, right?
Well, first, also know you're a grown woman, and you never step out of character for me. Whatever you're doing, I married you, I trust you, I believe in you. So, you know, we talk more than enough. So, whatever you have to do, when you have to do it, even if it's out of character, shit, handle your business.
I would say I do feel that pressure sometimes.
Really?
Yeah.
Like,
Still, like, it's just something I always felt like you have to really come down and, like you said before, have understanding of what you're feeling and what your reaction might be. You know, you may have an abrupt reaction to something, but like, I don't want to seem as that angry person, or I don't want to seem as that passive person, because I'm not doing things. Like, really understanding the situation. Like, is this a time for me to be assertive?
Yeah.
Or is this a time for me just to sit back and let everything push over? So
Okay.
definitely did.
With me, I used to feel that pressure, but I looked at it from a sense of like, I need to look at myself for feeling that pressure to not act out of character for somebody that you won't love, because I want to be my whole entire self with you. And I don't ever want to feel like I have to pretend to be somebody I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to something like that, like lashing out of anger, that's just something I know I have to work on for myself.
Yeah. You know, I don't feel pressure to not act on myself, because that our relationship is built on just being open and honest with each other. I believe our communication is like our strongest foundation. We've always been able to talk to each other. So this thing called life is a journey, and like, you're always going to be figuring out new aspects of yourself. So if you're hiding those aspects of yourself from your partner, you're supposed to be open and honest with. I don't think you're being honest with yourself. And I don't have that problem. I wake up every day trying to surprise my wife with a new character or a new something to do. I'm not just a stagnant person, so I don't expect to be the same person. She doesn't expect me to be the same person. So, no, never been uncomfortable being.
Yeah, I don't think we're ever uncomfortable with, I don't think we ever hold ourselves back from each other. I think we're authentically ourselves in like every single moment that we have together. There's no facade that we put up ever, like literally ever. Yeah, and that's what really makes it that much more fun. And we're able to just connect on a very real level. Like, we don't want to connect through like niceties and like putting up a facade. Like, that's not who we are. And I wouldn't want to perpetrate and be like, you know, we're some perfect couple, because we're not. And we go through our things, but we don't hold each other. We don't hold ourselves back from each other at all.
I did hold back because I guess just fear of what you would think of me, or how I would like react to situations. And sometimes I was always told, or all the time I'm told, that I usually overreact, and that's just how I am. It's just my personality. But as we got further into our relationship, I felt a lot more comfortable to just express myself and just, you know, not hold back. So I think, so in the beginning, yes, definitely. But now it's just, if I can't hold in my emotions. And I just make sure whenever I do react, I keep in mind, you know, to be respectful of you, and to make sure that I'm not disrespecting you in any way, or, you know, we can still love each other after that's.
I feel like I held back in the beginning, maybe as far as like being committed. In the beginning, I didn't want to be in a relationship. But I guess you broke that plank. So yeah, I just say that like it took me a while to commit. So after a while, I gained a liking. So now it's love. So.
There was a time that I held back. The way I overcame it was simple. Trusting you. Knowing that you not only have my back, you know how to have my back. Because that's the key, you know. But there was a time I think that's just human nature from day one as a boy. We're taught to toughen up, don't cry, be brave, you know, you got this, you know. So you tend to hold on, and you sometimes don't want to let people too close, because once you let somebody close, then now they're already in your personal space, so they get to see you for who you are, whether it's your fears, whether it's your sweats, your smile, your cries. So it was tough. And then you add being a man of color, you know, that's even more tough, because not only do I had to deal with not just you, but the world itself, because the world don't always treat us, whether knowingly or not, people don't always treat us fair.
Being vulnerable is something that many Black men deal with. Like, we don't want to put ourselves out there because, well, especially inner city men, we don't want to put ourselves out there because we feel it can be detrimental to our safety. So within a relationship, you still kind of hold those traumas. And it's like, I don't want to be vulnerable because she might be feeling this or feeling that. But now I'm at the understanding where it's I find strength in my vulnerability. So if I can't be that foundation, like, I'm not really truly being myself.
It was hard for me to be vulnerable then when I was going through, you know, whatever I had to do to take care of us, you know, because at the end of the day, I didn't feel like I was getting the attention that I needed, but, you know, we had that conversation and you just gotta communicate. I, you know, can't just hold everything onto myself. So, yeah, I felt scared during the time she was in school to be vulnerable because I didn't want her to feel like she had too much on her plate. But, you know, you start out sitting and holding things on your chest, you'll let it out, and I never want to be like that or do that. So, yeah.
If we have an issue or anything, we talk about it, we communicate. I feel like that's how we last long now, you know. Communication is key for our relationship. You know, it helps a relationship last longer. So honestly, I don't hold anything back. I let her know.